everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brand new speed build, this time doing something a little bit smaller than usual. So this is Riversmeade. It's a 3-bed, 1-bathroom build on a 30 by 20 lot in Willow Creek, and it comes in at just less than 163,000 simoleons. So even though it's a smaller build, it's not a cheaper build, definitely not. So this is actually built in one of my favourite 30 by 20 spots in Willow Creek, and it's really beautiful. It's like the top left hand side of the map. This one I think is opposite the Goth family home, and it's got some really nice views. In fact, the one on the opposite side of the road, like to the right hand side of the house, is actually really beautiful as well, and that's a 40 by 30 spot. So after building over the last couple of days, it got me thinking that it might be nice to actually build on some different size lots. I know within The Sims 4 there is so many 30 by 20 lots, and I thought I don't do enough of those types of builds, and they're so quick for me to do as well. Like, compared to doing obviously the bigger builds that I'm used to, coming to build something like this is just so much quicker, and I really quite enjoy it because for me it's probably a little bit of a challenge because I'm used to building with so much space. Building something smaller is, you know, it's a bit different from normal. So I went ahead and decided to build on this particular lot, and I wanted to build kind of a medium-sized family home. It did start out being quite contemporary looking, and there was lots of blue tones and greyish tones, and then slowly as I was building I was thinking, actually I wouldn't mind building a home for a sim who was into gardening. So I kind of changed up the colours and went for a lot more kind of browner tones, and I decided to make obviously just a really beautiful garden. Now this is a lot smaller than obviously I'm used to building with, and that in itself was a little bit of a challenge, but I still managed to include plenty of activities and skill building items, and I tried to make it look as pretty as I could. So it wasn't that this particular colouring of the house was wrong or it wasn't right or anything like that. It's just my whole idea in my mind that I wanted to build something a little bit warmer kind of came into play, and that's why it ended up being changed. So I did just want to quickly mention that quite a few of you in the comments have said that you've struggled to find my builds on the gallery. There has been some issues and bugs since the latest patch with the gallery, which are being worked on at the moment. I'm not entirely sure if they've been fixed completely yet, but it's always worth, if you can't find my builds under my origin ID, which is Simkim Builds, all one word, then try using the hashtag Simkim, because I always use the hashtag Simkim and Simkim Builds as well, so you may be able to find me that way. But like I say, we have had quite a few bugs over the last few days, and I'm not entirely sure if they've been completely fixed yet, so it may be worth just checking back in at a later date if you can't find it at the moment. And we've also still got the screenshots bug, which is driving me bonkers, and I know that there's a fix for it at the moment that the dev team are working on, but it can't come quick enough. Honestly, I'm completely done with the whole screenshots thing. So again, towards the end of the video you'll see just slightly blurry screenshots, which, you know, hopefully once it's fixed, and that will be in the next few days, fingers crossed, then, you know, we won't have blurry screenshots anymore. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you for 14,000 subscribers. You guys are just absolutely amazing. We are just smashing milestones at the moment, and it honestly just means the world to me. And I know I keep saying this on every video, but every day, you know, we're getting closer and closer to a different milestone. I mean, I've literally just done a giveaway, and I'm gonna have to do another giveaway soon. It's just crazy, you know, but it makes me really happy, and I really appreciate the support. You guys are honestly absolutely amazing, so thank you very much. So just coming back to the build, I'm moving on to the garden now, which is at the back of the house, and this particular lot didn't go without its glitches, and I don't know if that's something to do with the latest update as well, but I was having an issue with the fences connecting with the house. It was causing things to disappear off the actual house, which was driving me bananas. So in the end I had to create the fence but not link it to the house, so I used some big bushes instead, which I sized up just to hide the fact there was a gap in the fence. I was not going to be defeated. No, I wasn't. I was going to find some sort of solution and way around it, and that was my solution. So yeah, there would just seem to be little glitches going on, and I have actually had that glitch before in the past, so I've absolutely no idea what's going on. But I do know there's been quite a lot of bugs that have been reported since the last update, so fingers crossed anyway that all of that kind of gets sorted out fairly soon. But again, with the exterior of this house, I wanted to kind of change it up a bit. As I was building, I started to have in my mind what kind of a family I wanted to live here, and I wanted this house to feel like it had been here for years. Now, just recently in quite a few of my builds, I've been using the new seasons windows quite a lot, and the reason for that is because they're for me, the most realistic type of window, and B, they come in some really versatile different styles and colours, and it makes it really difficult to not use them because they're just brilliant. They're really, really good. But I do want to kind of step away from it and not just constantly use them. So I did end up changing some of the windows up and adding in some of an older style that I haven't used in forever. I can't even remember, months and months, just to kind of change up the style on the outside. And then I decided to change up the wallpapers a little bit, the colours of the doors. I tried to go for kind of using objects that maybe I wasn't, you know, I hadn't used for a long time, and I do try and do that quite a lot in my builds. I always say that. I do try and go for, you know, just using things that are a bit different. So the exterior did get a little bit more complicated as, you know, as I carried on. I was getting a bit carried away, if I'm honest. I was getting a bit excited. But yeah, I was quite happy with it in the end. They are definitely, like the swatch colour of that door, I don't think I could ever find a build where I'll ever use that again. But for some reason it just seemed to work with this build, so I was really happy that I could use it. So I decided to use these little walls here, which I think are in the Romantic Garden stuff pack, which is actually one of my favourite stuff packs, obviously because it's to do with landscaping. But I did go ahead and use them around this little pond that I built in the end as well. So I'm used to building quite big ponds normally because I've got so much space on the outside of the lots. But this time, obviously being smaller, I wanted to create like a small sort of pond with a little water feature, and I also used those little walls on the outside of the pond too. But I'm just finishing up with the landscaping at the moment, which is quite simple really. I just wanted it to feel quite overgrown and well established, but it is quite a small garden. Well, it is to me anyway, because I'm used to such massive gardens. But I thought it was quite cute, and it had absolutely everything that it needed in it, if that makes sense. So obviously I did go ahead and use the activities and skill building items. So we've got the barbecue and we've got planters on the left. We've also got, I think I put in one of those beekeeping boxes, and I think we've got an easel in there somewhere as well, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. But yeah, as I always say, I always like to put in lots of activities and skill building items, because otherwise, you know, there's not a lot for your Sims to do in the garden. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for the outside. So with regards to the interior, I wanted to use quite a lot of dark wooden tones throughout the house to kind of match the exterior really, and I wanted it to feel a little bit more oldie worldy. So I've used kind of a bit more old-fashioned counters and things like that. It's still very kind of neutral and still tasteful, you know, it's not got that like granny wallpaper or anything like that, but it's just a little bit more lived in. It's kind of like the kitchen you would expect to find if you moved into an older house, but it's not like really run down or anything. But yeah, so I decided this time with this particular build to probably spend a little bit more time on the interior, because it was such a small build as well, and it didn't actually take me that long to build it. I think I did this entire build last night, and I finished a little bit off today. I thought I'd just spend a little bit more time thinking about the interior and the items that I wanted to use. And I did go ahead and obviously again use items that I wouldn't ordinarily use, just to kind of change it up a little bit. But I'd say downstairs I use quite a lot of earthy kind of tones, very dark wooden, neutral tones. And I do this quite a lot in my builds, but this one's a little bit more oldie worldy compared to what I normally use. And there is a lot of very dark wooden tones as well. But the upstairs is quite the contrast because I decided to do 3 bedrooms. One's obviously the master bedroom. The second room is like the girly room, and the third bedroom is a twin boys room. And they are filled with all sorts of bits and bobs. I went over the top with the kids' rooms especially. So there's plenty of skill building items for the kids upstairs as well. I'd say the downstairs was much more of a kind of adult area. So there is a kitchen, there's a dining room, there is a downstairs study, and then there's the main kind of living reception area. I did actually mean to put a downstairs bathroom in this. It was supposed to be where the study was because I was going to put the desk in the living room, but then I completely forgot, built this study and was like, oh. So yeah, there's actually only one bathroom, but there was supposed to be a bathroom downstairs. But yeah, so there's a fully functional bathroom upstairs. It does have like the bath and the shower and everything in there as well. And it is a smaller house, so I suppose I can kind of get away with it. I'd say traditionally in the UK, we only tend to have 1 bathroom in a 3-bedroom house ordinarily. So listen at me trying to justify it. So I must admit, when I'm used to building such big builds, it's always really refreshing when I come to do a smaller build, because you've got to really think about how you're going to like lay everything out and how you're going to basically fit it all in. And I think I'm definitely going to do a few more 30 by 20 lots because, as I've said plenty of times in the past, whenever I actually come to play The Sims, I prefer playing in sort of more manageable houses, a lot of the time on just 1 floor as well, so I can see what's going on. But there are just so many 30 by 20 lots in The Sims that it would make sense to do more builds of that size. But it did make me laugh because someone commented the other day that they really loved my build, but they already had one of my builds on the 64 by 64 lot, and it did make me think, actually I do build that many big builds on those particular lots as well, that obviously not everybody can download them all. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing a few more 30 by 20 lots, but they'll be kind of like around the bigger lots that I do as well. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to doing some of those. I'm just moving on to the final room downstairs at the moment, which is the study that was supposed to be the bathroom. And yeah, it's just a straightforward room really. It's only very small, so I fit in obviously the PC and the desk, and I think I put in there like a guitar and a small violin as well. But if you did want to go ahead and change it up and add in more kids kind of activities downstairs, then you know, you can always swap and change things around and tailor it to however you like. I'd definitely say that there was quite a cozy vibe about this house, which is really what I wanted it to be like, you know, just nice and kind of cozy and well lived in. And yeah, I'm quite looking forward to actually playing in this house. I think I might start a new challenge. I'm not entirely sure. I was actually thinking about doing the Rags to Riches challenge again. I say again because I started doing a version of Rags to Riches. I forget which one it is now, but I think I'm going to kind of challenge myself legacy style to see if I can start with nothing and save up enough simoleons to actually buy one of these houses. I think it will probably take me forever, but I do think it would be a good idea. I actually went to play The Sims the other night as well, and I was getting started on a challenge. I just really wanted to sort of experience seasons a little bit, but I joined the doctor's career. Now, ages ago, I built a hospital, which I always build kind of like the hospital and the police station and things like that for those careers, because the actual base game versions of those buildings are just like rubbish. Sorry EA, but they're rubbish. So I made up my own, but I kind of entered into my first day at work as a doctor, bulldozed the lot, went onto the gallery to download the hospital, and the gallery wasn't working. So my sim was stuck on the first day of work with no building and everyone was just stood around. I was like, well, great, that's the end of that then. So I had to kind of quit working that day, and then I thought, oh, you know what, I think I'll try it another day when the gallery's fixed. But yeah, I think I'm going to start a fresh kind of game and sort of play a little bit more alongside obviously all my building, and just see if I can actually save up enough to, yeah, afford one of these lots. So I'm just working on the young girls room at the moment, and I do think this room is quite versatile really. It could be used for a child or a teenager, it could be a teenage boys room. It's entirely up to you what you choose to do with it. But I really like these wall decorations and the lights as well. We got quite a few new ones with the seasons expansion, and they come in lots of different swatches, so I did go ahead and use them in this final boys room as well. So this is the twin boys room. So I did actually spend quite a bit of time on this room, and I really love the colour combination with the blues and the yellows. And as you can see, it's quite a contrast to the downstairs area that's quite neutral. But I did try and bring, you know, some of it upstairs by using obviously the dark wooden furniture as well. But I really love this wall kind of decoration with that's like the robot. I think I've used the green one before, but I've never used the yellow one. I didn't actually realise it came in different colours. But it just fit in really well, and I thought it looked kind of smart. So, but I'm just finishing off with some sort of wall decorations over the windows, which came with seasons, and they come in loads of different swatches. But yeah, I really love this room. I thought it was quite cute. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, it would be amazing to have you on board. And thanks again so much for all your support and your comments. I really appreciate it. But I hope you've all had a fantastic weekend and you go on to have a lovely week. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.
On repeat, I will break like a twig right under your feet. Don't you say that you didn't want me. You turned me upside down, and then you're in my bed and under my skin. Oh, where will it end if I let it begin? So bittersweet, you know life's too short, so let's not waste another minute. Deep